Right from childhood, he braved many adversities just to be counted among the world of professional footballers. His talents took him from the rough pitches at Bando to the lush fields of Turkey, where he played for 5 different clubs. After several years of hard work and sacrifice, a lifelong dream to play in the World Cup was on the horizon. All was going as planned until the 91st minute of a warm-up match against the Netherlands. He landed awkwardly from an aerial challenge. He lay on the ground in pain. His World Cup dream shattered. It would change his perspective about life forever. Our guest today is none other than Jerry Akaminko. It's a career laden with stories. He's opened his doors to us today, and we're about to find out the details. We're in the home of Jerry Akaminko. Jerry,
bro,
it's good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Like I'm saying, I haven't seen you in a while. I was wondering what you look like now, since you've been so far away from the lessons. I've heard that you've been up to so much. But even before we get to that stuff, let's get to your roots as a man and as a person. Where did you grow up? What neighborhoods groomed Jerry Akaminko?
Thank you for coming in this opportunity. I think it's been a long time, as you said.
Yeah.
I've been trying to stay away from interviews, and I don't really have a reason, but I just feel like I want to be quiet a little bit and then focus on 1 or 2 things. So that's the reason why I've not been. But you know, when I got the message that you wanted to come in, you know, I had to consider where it was coming from. So that's actually why I accepted it.
Yeah,
so yeah, thank you.
We are honored. We're definitely honored. Now, I learned that you grew up in Kumasi.
Yeah, very.
Kumasi boy. I'm wondering how you ended up with Hearts of Lions. Talk us through a little bit of your life in Kumasi and what it was like getting into contact with football, because it looks like Kumasi, the Bronga Hafo region, and to some extent the Western region are in a fight for maybe the motherland of football in this country. Talk to us about that a little.
Yeah, I think I thank God for how far He's brought me. Beginning my career or beginning to start playing football wasn't easy. You know, I love football so much that anytime I went to town, I go to town with my mom at the time, and I see football, I have to cry to her to buy me football. And it was you know, it was much. You know what I mean? The pressure I would put on her to buy me the football. She wouldn't have a choice than to buy me the football.
How old are you at the time?
Very, very young. Like, you know, you can understand when a boy, you know,
a toddler
exactly, coming up to, you know, fall in love to play football, and you know, every corner you see me playing football. So I always wanted to have my own football to myself, that you know, I know I own this football. So wherever I go to play, you know,
you take it along with you.
Exactly. You understand what I mean? Because and so she would buy me, and you know, I got more loving football. The more, you know, I had the football, the more I spent time with people that played football. So you know, it pushed me to the core, and I felt in love every day. So yeah, at some point when I was growing, there was a team. You know, I'll start from this place. I grew up in the barracks.
Okay.
My dad used to be a police officer.
Where?
In Kumasi Central Police Barracks.
Okay.
Around Edum.
Okay.
That area. So I actually grew up there, and then there was we used to play as barracks boys, you know. And actually, there wasn't a team. There was a team there called Phantomas at the time, but we were too young to play that team, because I think we were more or less under 12 or under 14. Okay. So he didn't have that under 12 team. So there was a man that had his let's say grandchildren or grandsons, you know. Okay. So he used to bring them both on the pitch to train them as his private thing, you know what I mean? So it wasn't open to the public, but just to train these guys. So we used to watch their training, and you know, so far as we love football, we went to him to say, oh, can we also join?
What's his name? I like that we honor these people sometimes when we do this interview.
We actually, I didn't know his name, but we used to call him Oruman.
Okay.
Because let's say he was an old man.
Okay.
But he used to be the education officer or education, I don't know how they call it, education, whatever, in Kumasi, somewhere, in Nketsia area or something, you know. So we used to call him Uruman. So I went to him and I said, can I join the team with one of or two my friends? So we went to him and he said, sure, why not? So we didn't have football shoes, to be honest. We used to use our bare foot to play. But fortunately, his boys used to have their own boots, you understand? But we had to start from somewhere.
Yeah.
So we used to use the bandage to wrap our feet and then, to play. So it was getting interesting. And then other people, other of our friends also came on board. So we were beginning to look like a team. So luckily, fortunately for me, one day I was going home, and by the roadside there was one man that he goes to the market to select shoes, different kind of trainers and football shoes, and then come there to wash it and sells them. So I saw them dried up by the roadside, and then I saw it. I went to see one. I checked it. It was my size. So quickly I went home and I told my dad. I asked the man the price. I said, I've seen the shoe. I've seen some football shoes, and the shoes used to be Gola. I don't know if you remember this kind of thing. Yeah,
Gola was old
school. It's a rubber shoes.
Back in the day.
I went to him. I told him, and he said, "Okay, go and ask the price." And so I told him the price, and then he gave me money, and then I went straight to buy the shoes. So you can imagine, first time wearing football shoes, Gola, it felt so different.
Yeah,
it felt so different, and then with the man in the team, and we kept developing. People came, and then everything started changing. So he started organizing us to go out to play.
So it was like his little Colts team.
Exactly.
People were playing football in the neighborhood and stuff like that. At this point, I'm guessing you are like around JSS
time. Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
So we more or less became a team, but it was unregistered because I don't think he had the medium to do that. So we stayed that level, and unfortunately he had to leave Edum to go to where I think he built his home, with his family. So the team became some way because we couldn't go with him to Buakwa or wherever he was going to stay, and he couldn't also come back to train us all the time. So but then it was a good platform for us to get that foundation, to understand football to a certain level, whether that's the point. If you love to play football, you continue from there. If you don't want, then maybe you find another thing to do. So we played in school, and then that team, and when he left, there was another person that selected that. He had a team on a different side. So he selected us. We used to go to Rage, where Kotoko used to train that time, to play matches and other things. But that one too wasn't registered. So we're looking more. I was looking more to play in a registered team.
So at this point, you are looking for your break into professional football.
Professional football. You understand what I mean? So I used to play number 7.
Okay.
That time.
You were a winger at the time.
Winger at the time.
Wow.
You understand what I mean? Because I think I'm more athletic. I like to run. You understand what I mean? So I remember when I used to be.
Who were your idols at the time? Which players?
I think my big brother was my idol. Actually, he didn't play to that level, but he used to play on the 7-2, and he was fast. He liked to cross the ball. So I used to watch him as a big brother. He goes to play football, follow him, and that kind of thing. Although there were people that played football on TV, it used to be nice, but our big brothers are the people that are closer to us. Most all our role models. You understand what I mean? So I was encouraged. You understand what I mean? To follow my big brother's step, and then I think so. Along the way. There was a team in Bantama. The owner was called Alemao. That was his nickname, actually, Frank. Yeah, Frank something. You understand what I mean? So his team was a little bit in a higher level. The way he treated his players, the jerseys they wear, and everything. So when the team I was playing got dissolved, he sent for me. You understand what I mean? He requested that I should come to his team, and then when I went there, it was different from where I was coming from. You understand what I mean? So I was motivated, although it wasn't registered to like the professional course I wanted to play. But I thought
it was a step higher than the two you had experienced.
And then the foundations he gave us on in the training. If you play right back, if you get the ball, you give it to your number 6 or your number 8 or your number 7 will come. So you understand what I mean? I got that kind of
foundation.
That foundation.
Let me try and understand something here, right?
Yeah.
As a journalist, I've come to see that at the coach level, the owners of the clubs that you've perhaps talked about, they are not just the people who establish the clubs. They more or less are bankrollers, somehow technical directors, somehow coaches in a way. Is that really how it is?
Yeah, they're everything. Wow. Because, they also don't have the the push, or they don't have the support from anyone.
It's just basically a passion that they are also...
Exactly, you understand what I mean? Most of them dedicate whatever they have. They even if their families are not happy with them having teams and having a lot of people's children by themselves, they didn't have a choice. They will spend anything they have, you understand what I mean, to maintain or get the team to certain level, you understand what I mean.
Tell me about making the jump to the Premier Division after making that mental decision that, you know what, it's time to go to the big time as far as football locally is concerned.
Well, you know, when my dad used to be a police officer, he used to go to the games, you know, as the police governing the game and the security and everything. So he used to take me with him. So watching the game from the stands, and you know, I could feel myself. I could put myself in the game, and you know, so it was something that I dreamt of. You know, I visualized and say one day I will see myself on the pitch, you know, playing that kind of thing. So so when I said to myself I was going to play in the Premier League, I didn't have any team that I was going to go. I didn't know anybody, and actually my coach Caesar at that time knew one or two, but I knew that wouldn't even put me into enough to take me into any Premier team. But then, you know, as the area I used to live, the barracks, then Herbert Mensah formed the team with Haruna Mohammed that time. They formed the team, a coast team from the people that, you know, they couldn't play again in the coast team. They did the third division. They formed the third division with cornerstones. They are, you know, most of their players. So they were there. They used to train at the barracks. So every Friday, the barracks people, my boys, we do our set to play against them every Friday. So it was like, you know, massive. Wow. So at some point when I think they had a match, they got a match against Heart of Lions in Accra. So Caesar my coach told me that if I could come with them to play the game. I was like, Charlie, it's not my team. They are not my really close friends. So I wouldn't see, and I don't play this thing, I wouldn't see how I can join the team to come and play with them in Accra, and you know. So I decided not to go. Although when he sees me, when they come back and he sees me, he will be angry, but you know, I know how to sort this thing with him. So I think during the day, I was, you know, thinking about it, you know, and then I said to myself, okay, what would I be doing the whole day? Why not just go and try with them? You know what I mean? It is just respect, you know what I mean, to honor his invitation. He could have invited anybody, but
he invited you instead.
So why not? So I decided to go in the night. We were supposed to meet at the stadium, you know, to, you know, set off at dawn. So I went there, and then unfortunately there were so many things that was blocking me to come, to be honest. We went there, we didn't have a place to sleep at the night. Not knowing, we were supposed to go to one of the dressing rooms, but the security man had gone to sleep there, waiting that we would come and knock so that he would get up so that we would get in. So we were stranded at the gate, and you know, most of the people got upset and then went to their homes. But I decided to stay. It was very close to go back to Eduma or something. Wow. Take taxi 1 city, but I didn't go. So I stayed, and the car that came to was 207 or something. I said, Accra Road with this car. You know, we could hear a lot of accidents on the road, and it wasn't a good experience at all. I was expecting to go with this thing. So I was like, man, I have to go home. But then something pushed me and said, you've been here, so why not? Just go. So I joined the team, and most of them didn't even come back, and we couldn't pick most of them because, you know, that time it wasn't easy to have a phone to call rich people. So we went, and on our way, when we got to Accra, then I realized, I saw one of my friends, you know, he wasn't my teammate, but he used to be he used to play for Connors, and he was already at the Lions, and then, so I went to his room to rest a little bit, and then, you know, we met the Heart of Lions. They are well fed today, you know. His name is Master Richard. He used to be, you know, he was my guy at the time. So we went to Herbert's house at Osu, and then when we went down there, Mr. Haruna asked me if I would want to play their team. I said, I'll play. Then he said, okay, good. So if I wouldn't play, then there's no need they would put me in the team. So I think before the game, with Heart of Lions at the Saba pitch at the Legon, you see the grass one. So my coach told me that he's not going to start me for some reason, because most of the guys are talking too much. They said I don't play for them, so why did he bring me? Why does he want to put me in the team and that? So he heard that noise, and then he said I shouldn't bother, that he's not going to start me. I said don't worry, no problem. So I thought I came to honor his invitation, you know. So if I'm not going to play, let's finish the game and let me just go back to Kumasi, you know. That's where I fit in, you know. So, you know, fortunately enough, when they were playing, I think it was 1-1 from in the first half. So in the second half, I think Hamini Draman took them on, scored some goals. And
so Hamini was also playing in that
Heart of
trial.
Lions, yeah.
Oh, he was already
in
at
Heart of Lions, you understand? And so he was playing against my team, and then he just finished them in the second half. And the coach got upset. He said, "Jerry, get up! Don't even warm up. Just wear your shoes. Come and play. Go and play." So, I got up and I did exactly that. I went to the game, and the last 20 minutes or 15 minutes, it was me and Draman.
Yeah.
I was just pulling him, taking ball, winning the ball, struggling, fighting with him. So, after the game, Coach Bash saw me, and when I was on the under 14, they were in under. Coach Bash was, I think he was with
assistants.
Silas in under 17.
Okay.
At Abuasi with Prince Tegu and Helebe that time. You understand me? So, I was the captain actually in the coast team when we went there. But they used to score every team that came there. But in my time, we didn't. We drew, and it was crazy.
He was impressed.
So when he saw me, he was like, he asked my coach, say, "So am I the one that has really grown up like that?" And the coach said, "Yeah." So wow. So he was surprised. But then he was like technical director in the team, so he wasn't the coach at the time. So when we head to the bus where the car was to take our bus and go, I saw Caesar was ahead of me. My coach was Victor, the owner of Heart of Lions at the time, and some few officials. So they were standing there. So in the bus, he called me back to come. So I went to them, and then Victor told me, "Fanboy, you're a good player, but I want you to come and train with us for like a week, and then I'll make a decision from there." I was like, wow. Then he said he's going to go to Paris, and then in 3 days' time he'll return. I was like, "You're going to Paris 3 days? We want to go and never want to come back again. You are going 3 days and come back."
You looked at it like this was perhaps your meeting with your big shot.
Yeah, understand what I mean. So he told me he has spoken to the Kumasi guy who was already in the team, Amakwajama, that he's giving him everything. I will come with him after the break. It was just a few days break for the weekend. So when he's coming back, I should come with him. And I said, okay, no problem. So I went to Kumasi. I organized 1 or 2 things. Charlie, I need to get football shoes. I need to get some money on myself and other things. So I went to Mr. Boavin. That time he used to be the Buffalo commander at the time, and he was my dad's mate. So he sorted me out and everything. That time we took the bus and we came to Accra. And the first training actually, they had seen me in the match, but the president wasn't there.
So now you are at Heart of Lions.
Heart of Lions.
Hold your horses right there. Hold your horses right there. We are speaking to Jerry Akaminko. We are about to get into some specifics with the Heart of Lions journey, and then we are going to go into the detailed bits of his career with the national teams. We'll be back here on the tracker. Stay with us. Welcome back to the tracker here on Citi TV. We are still catching up with Jerry Akaminko. He's about to get into his life at Heart of Lions. Now, when I was growing up, Heart of Lions was a big team. It was a huge team. Back then, I remember they were practically the team to beat, aside Asante Kotoko and Accra House of Oak. You knew that if you went to Pando, you weren't going to get a result.
Yeah.
Tell me about playing with a guy like John Boy as a centre-back partnership. Tell me about how that evolved and your relationship with him.
Yeah, I think, John came a little bit later on. You understand? I mean, I think I used to play with Jonathan Korte.
Oh, Jonathan Korte went to South Africa after a while.
Yes. So playing with Jonathan and, Tahiru Siba, our captain at the time, there was a lot of players.
Did you come from the team from the lower division? You came from...
No.
When you came to House of Lions,
it was in the Premier, I think that was their second season.
Okay.
Yeah, their second season. So that was when I came. So I was actually playing with Jonah and all these players. I just mentioned their name, and it was a mature team, and it was a great experience to be with them because Charlie, they gave everything. And
was Edmond also in that team?
Edmond came later on.
Oh, he also came later. Wow, that team was.
The genesis of the team. It was great till I don't know what time. It was great. You know, I mean, that's why the team produced a lot of names at the time and everything, because it was more or less more than a professional team. I would say it was a professional, but our level at the time compared to most of the Premier team at the time was different, because
What made that difference?
It was the owner of the team, the president of the team, Mr. Victor Ahiapo. You understand what I mean? He had a dream. You understand what I mean? So Even if you were a player, you weren't ready, he will give you, he will let you be ready at the time, because whatever you need, he will give you. I think when John came, I think I actually didn't see him. I was in the national team or something, you know, one of the junior national teams. When I came, I saw they had new players, not only him, with other few players. So, you know, we were playing and, you know, together. I saw, you know, we had new players. They were good and everything. So, me, for instance, I always like to motivate people. I always like to encourage people, whether you were grown or you were little or whatever. I don't, you know, I don't select. I always want to give part of me, the best part. You know what I mean? So, when I used to play with him, I think Coach Oti was our coach, Coach Oti Akenten at the time. No, I think Hans was our coach, but then Coach Oti came to succeed him, and then, you know, so together, I used to play with John, and, you know, he had his own style.
Which Hans is this? Van der Pluim?
Van der Pluim, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he had his own style, I had my own style, but, you know, like, we should be, you know, we should have a plan to play, since we were two stoppers or center backs in the team. So yeah, I told him, I know you are new, but don't let anybody intimidate you here, not even the coaches. This is how we're going to play. We keep the ball, we play. We build it from the back. We are not going to kick the ball. When you take risk, when you lose the ball, I'll be there for you, I'll cover you up. Whatever it is, nobody can take you out.
Nice one.
You understand what I mean? So I think it was a good talk for him, you know, as a new player at the time, to build on his confidence. Not that he wasn't good, but, you know, it's like that. You have to adapt into every team to, you know, start bringing the best out of you and everything. So with him, I think we had one of the best, you know, partnership and everything. Yeah.
Let's now talk about the Black Stars. Let's talk about the Black Stars. 91st minute. 91st minute against Holland. The game is almost over. 2 minutes for the game to be over. Like I told you, I found it hard watching that particular sequence again, because it's just like disappointment. Just walk us through the moment where you made the jump for the tackle, landing awkwardly, and then realizing that, oh snap, this might be my walk up down the drain.
Well, I think I don't feel bad about it. Trust me, I know you feel, but I could watch that video over and over, and it's nothing.
It's something that has become a part of you.
Yeah. Because I know, as a man or a human being, you are bound to go through a lot of trials and temptations. So, what could that be? You know what I mean? So I took it one of those things, although people could just take it anyhow. But
if you had to do it again, would you still make that giant leap at that moment in the game?
I would do it, because tell me now, do you think I don't jump again when I'm playing?
Well, I'm telling myself that it's the 91st minute, it's the walk.
I should relax.
I mean, maybe because it's hindsight, because we've seen what has happened, we can say that.
Yes.
Decided not to go.
Let's say if I didn't jump and the guy flicked the ball and it became a goal or something, or you could say, we nearly finished the game, and, you know, this guy made this kind of mistake. So until the 90th minute or until the whistle or whatever, you don't stop. You don't think of injury or anything. It's in the first place, risk to play. Taking the plane, going there is risk. Anything could happen, even in the beginning of the game, even in the training, you could get hurt. Understand what I mean? So people don't end their career only in big games, or only in better platforms.
It could happen
anywhere. You understand what I mean? So you only have to, you know, get over it and then work yourself up when the situation comes.
Tell me about how that moment felt for you on the pitch.
Well, I think it was hard. Well, I felt the pain. I actually felt the pain. It was very painful, and at that moment, I was like, you could hold my leg and just, you know, turn it and make it go back to, you know, I don't know. You understand what I mean?
You just wish somebody would hold it and
twist it back to where it was. I don't know what was going on, because I couldn't really watch my foot at the time, but I could feel the pain. You understand what I mean? I could feel the pain, because I'm not flexible, as you can see. You know, I don't know. I'm stiff. Athletic, you know, but then I could jump and then come back and, you know, sit on my own, you know, heel, and then twist it by force, and, you know, it wouldn't be that easy. You understand what I mean? But then I thought, you know, at that moment, it wasn't like I got over it. I got over the World Cup. I knew I was not going to go. I knew. So I think that moment will help me a lot, you know. So from that time to the hospital, I was only waiting to hear what the doctor would tell me. I haven't done any surgery before, so let's go to the hospital, let the doctor have a look at it, and then tell me the next.
Can I have a look at this? Like the spots where this happened.
Where you see that?
Those are this is like almost 4 inches of stitches.
Yeah, so the metal is in actually.
There's a metal plate in your leg.
Yeah, with 6 screws or whatever it is.
6 screws?
Yeah.
Wow.
So actually, I went to the hospital and then the doctor had a look at it, and then he was like, "You're going to miss like 3 months." So if the doctor tells you you're going to miss like 3 months, then you know the World Cup. So you have to quickly start thinking of your next, so that you don't get stuck in the middle when you think there's no way to get you going. So yeah, I think I got over it at the time. And then I didn't regret jumping or anything because, I thought it was bound to happen, whether true or false. Yeah.
What was the most important thing to you during that 3-month period, right? The recovery period where you were coming up, watching your teammates at the World Cup, because the World Cup went on without you regardless.
Yeah.
What was your mind state like at the time?
Well, I could. It wasn't easy, but it wasn't anything of like jealousy or out of anything. But definitely, I feel like I could have been there. You understand? I could have been in this position. I could have been able to stop that ball. You could, you could play the ball in your head, and But like I said, I tried as much to get over that because there was a million times not going to happen.
What was the support like? What was the support system like? Where did the support come from at the time?
Oh, you mean from the national team?
Did your national teammates, your coaches, did they reach out to you at the time? What was family support like?
Family support was great.
Like?
Family support was great, and then I think the national team, I think a night before they left or whatever, we had a get together. They wished me whatever they had for me, and then they showed their sympathy and everything, and that was great. So family, like I said, they've been there from that time till now. And most of the players, most of the players also have been there. And
Tell me about seeing John Boy kiss a stock of $100,000, because you knew John Boy better than anybody. You had played with him at Hearts of Lions. At that moment, is that kissing of the money, I'm going to be rich after the World Cup, or these people didn't want to give us our money, but finally the money has arrived? Knowing him, what was that like, just watching him do that?
Well, I think he wasn't wrong. You know what I mean? Maybe I would say you people, because you are football fanatics, you know what I mean? The way you understand things are different from we that are in the game. You get what I mean? So we might not think the same. So it doesn't mean you are wrong. It doesn't mean I'm right. It doesn't mean, both sideways. Because for somebody to work that hard and not get his money and got his money at the time was a different feeling. You know what I mean? And I'm sure he did that for the camera, intentionally did that for the camera. You know what I mean? Maybe I could do the same thing in my room or wherever, and camera could catch me or anything. That doesn't mean makes me a bad sports person or anything. So John Boy has seen 100,000 before, maybe more. You know what I mean? So are you sure he hasn't seen this money before? So that kind of seeing the money, made him do that. Yeah, everybody, like I said, why would the money stay that too long before the money got to them? Why would they even travel with that money to that place when they could have gotten their money and nobody would see John Boy can see the money? You understand what I mean? It's hard work, and he decides to do whatever he wants with the money, and everybody has to accept that. You can take your salary and decide to do whatever you want.
True.
You understand what I mean? But why him? Because he plays football. Because at that time we didn't perform well, so if people weren't happy or something, it doesn't work like that.
On that particular note, how do you feel about the whole subject of patriotism versus money? Like, people keep saying that the current crop of national team players are only interested in enriching themselves off the national team because it comes with good opportunities, whereas people say that, well, we've been paying you for all this while, you don't have any trophies to show for it, so we don't think that it makes sense to continue giving players such large sums of money when you go to competitions.
Well, thank you, because I think everybody in this country, even the president works and get paid.
Yeah.
So everybody must get paid. So far as you do something, so far you are selected, so far you are being given the obligation to do certain things, you deserve what they give you. So if the patriotic side, we're Ghanaians.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? The country takes care of us in a way, and we also give back to the country in our way. You understand what I mean? Everybody would love to play football, Black Stars, precisely. You understand what I mean? But there's a price that comes with it. Do we deserve it or we don't deserve it? The fact we haven't won cup doesn't mean we don't have to get paid. We also give much that people don't even look at that side. We come from a long season, and then when we come here, we get home, it's time to spend with family. We have to go to another country and stay there for 2 weeks and prepare for another tournament. You understand what I mean? Bro,
the sacrifices you also make that people don't appreciate.
You understand what I mean? Sometimes you even have the money, you can't even enjoy your money. Or you even have the right people around, you can't even have time with them. Because we've chosen the country first at the moment. You understand what I mean? So we're giving our best to the country. What do we get in return? Do we deserve it? If you say you people are going to go to this tournament, we don't have any money for you. If you understand this thing before the tournament, then we know we are not getting anything. Then we have to do what we have to do. But if there are some structures put in place and say you deserve this, you have this, it's a mind game. You fall for it and you expect it. And the more you expect it, the more you work towards to get it. You understand what I mean? So when you ask it one or two, people shouldn't get us wrong.
I like how you've broken down that particular sequence. Now I want you to also break down leadership within the national team for me, because it's always been an issue of contention from 1992, Tony Bafo, Anthony Yeboah. Recently, Tony Yeboah was talking about the fact that his performance in the 92 AFCON final was affected because he was in line to be named assistant captain. He was in line to be named captain because he was assistant and it wasn't given to him, and so he didn't perform as expected. Going to AFCON 2019, Kwesi Appiah decided to make Andre Ayew his substantive captain and Jan his general captain. First and foremost, do you think that type of situation, or removing Jan as captain, could have affected how we played at the World Cup, at the AFCON?
Well, I think we've been having these problems way back, and then you made mention of Tony Yeboah at the time and everything. So who can correct that? The coach. You, the coach, has to correct that, because you are the leader among all the players. Even the FA president, you, the coach, you are the head. You make your decision. You understand? But you have to think about it before you come out. You have to know if this decision is going to help. And like I said, football is a teamwork. It's a collective thing. You can't make certain part happy and then the other side not. It will affect the team automatically. And if you need results, then you need to work on yourself. You need to work on everything before it gets to that point. Tony Yeboah time, I wasn't there. You know what I mean? But now, at least, I understand now more on about whatever happened. Well, you taking the captain from Jan, there's so many ways could have gone about it. You understand what I mean?
Did Jan have a right to be upset and say, you don't make me captain? It's almost like you don't want me to lead this group, so I have a right to say I'm retiring.
Yes, it's like I said, Jan is not a young player. Jan is not anyone's child or anything. You understand what I mean? Excuse me using that kind of word. He also has he's
built his resume.
Exactly, you understand? He has whatever. He has the right to say whatever or decision he wants to make. It's up to him, and it's up to the people to accept whether yes or no. The same way the coach also makes this decision, nobody can say no or anything. You understand what I mean? But there's a way to go about it. I could do the same thing, or I could be motivated, or I could be hypocrite and say, oh, no problem, I'm still going to give my best, and maybe back in my head it wouldn't be the same. You understand what I mean? So we should accept people speaking the truth when they are not happy. We shouldn't be like, oh, it's going to cause this thing. The more we do that, the more we leave behind. The more we start making those kind of mistakes. Whatever Jan said today, whatever happened, whatever that time, people that are coming now should learn and correct themselves and never fall into that mistake. You understand what I mean? There's a way to call Jan in the day at the time and say, boys, you are my two leaders. You are the people that I look up to in the team. Without me, after me, you are the people that are there. So this is the decision I want to make. Or there's so many ways to go about it, not that latter part. You understand? And that latter part, you should understand any decision you make against Jan could affect the team because, like I said, it's a collective thing.
And he's a
you
big
understand?
figure.
People look up to him in the team. Yeah. You understand what I mean? People look up to the day in the team. So there shouldn't be conflict between the two of them. So we lost the tournament even before we left. You understand what I mean? We left the tournament. Meanwhile, you go to the camp and you expect people to be happy and give their best. No, it doesn't work like that. No. It doesn't work like that.
Tell me about how player mentality works before competitions. Because again, in the last couple of weeks, I've listened to audio where, for instance, when the players were heading to the first World Cup in 2006, they somehow did not really have the confidence that they could beat Italy and Czech Republic and stuff like that. What is the word among you guys when you're about to make it to a competition? Let's say Brazil 2014. What was the consensus? That, guys, we can make it out of the group stage, we can make it to a quarterfinal. What was your collective mindset like at that point?
I think at the time we were more motivated against the Egypt game. You understand what I mean? The one we won 6-1.
Yeah.
I think in the dressing room
during the qualifiers.
During the qualifiers, Sulley said, we are not going to play football. We are going to beat them. We are going to just beat them. So let's go and beat them. So these are worth, motivate. You understand what I mean? So we didn't see Egypt. We didn't see them. We knew we were just going to bully them, beat them, and these positive words came to reality.
Yeah.
So before any tournament or anything, players we speak or we look forward and that kind of thing. You understand? You visualize and say, you see yourself in a tournament and say, I'm going to kill it. You understand what I mean? Or you could see it looks tough from your point of view or whatever statistics or the features that have come out. But then again, there's something that will motivate you. Even the last minute on the pitch, you say no. You start the game and something will go up for you, and then you build on it for the rest of the tournament. You understand what I mean? So no player would say we didn't have confidence on it. Yeah, they could say that, but I'm sure during the training and prior to the game, their mentality changed because that's what they've been doing for all this time, and they never want to be,
no
beaten
player goes
on
into a match
exactly. No.
You mentioned Sulley again and spoke about him as the one who motivated the team. Somehow within the media circles and within the footballing circles, he's managed to earn a tag as a bad boy. Knowing him from high school, knowing him from the junior teams, why would you say that's the case? And again, were you surprised when you were all watching Brazil 2014 and you heard that he had been thrown out of camp because he had been involved in a scuffle with a management team member?
Well, I didn't expect it to get to that level, you know what I mean? But hearsay is different, you know what I mean? You weren't there to experience what happened and what kind of thing that escalate to that, extent. So with me knowing Sulley all these years, I think he's a person that he likes to speak his mind. You know what I mean? And people shouldn't take him for in a wrong way.
Does that get frowned upon in football circles? If you speak your mind, administrators and coaches look at you as somebody who is perhaps difficult?
That's how I think it is. But when will we learn and accept people the way we can? It's a collective thing. People from different homes. You know what I mean? And even in the 11 or whatever 18 team you have, there's everyone has their quality. Yeah. You understand what I mean? So are you trying to tell me because A couldn't pass well, so you have to take him out of the team? Maybe A is good in tackling.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? But the thing is, you look at the good side, the positive side, what he's giving the team. You should focus on that. You understand what I mean? It's not everything Sulley talks about.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? He himself will get tired of himself and cannot do that. But the things he speaks about, do they really sit down and look at them and assess them and say, yes, you're right? Or they only tag him or they only think he's this kind of person. So whatever he's saying, if it's true or not, they still never want to listen. That is not right. And people with that kind of heart will never stop speaking. You understand what I mean?
Let's talk about the present state of the team now. Siki Akono is in charge of the national team. He's inherited the job from Nketsia. One of the issues that always come up whenever there has to be a changeover in coaches is local coaches versus expat coaches. There's also the school of thought that says that locally here we tend to respect expat coaches more than local coaches, and they have a thing for keeping the discipline in the camp as compared to their local counterparts. how do players view that type of situation? Local coach coming in, do we like that better? Or we like a foreign coach coming in? Is respect better with this person or with that person?
Well, I think it depends how your philosophy or how you go about how your relationship between the players. You understand? I mean, determines how what the players will give you back. You understand? Let's say CK Akuna has played in the foreign league for a long time. He's been the captain of the Black Stars. He had so many caps. You understand what I mean? He's got the two blend in him. You understand what I mean? So now it's up to him how to put things in place for the team to respect him or not. It's up to him. You understand what I mean? You it's what you bring or it's what you do that determines how the player is going to react to your whatever your rules you put on there. So I think there could be a white coach that comes in and these players may not be happy with him. Depends on how he does his things. You understand what I mean? And there could be a white coach come in and put his things in a good place and the players think it is the top level and they will give him the respect to win. You understand what I mean? And if you're a local coach or if you're a Ghanaian and it depends how you put your things, that will determine how the players, So it depends on the coach. You understand? You have the power to put whatever you want, structure you want to put. And you know what? Like, you not force them to respect you, but they will respect.
I like what you're saying a lot. Now, I want you to just outline 3 things for us. If we can use this even as lessons. 3 things that players appreciate most in coaches, especially when they've come into contact with them fresh. You didn't know them from anywhere. What do players appreciate most? 3 things they appreciate most in coaches.
Let your camp be disciplined. You understand what I mean? Let your philosophies never change. Don't try to please. Don't try to. I can't use certain words. You understand what I mean? Don't try to give them that chance in the beginning. If you do that, they work on you all the time. So I believe, you know what, like as a coach, if you are local or whatever, you have been given opportunity. You understand? The country could see what is in you. That's why they gave you that position. You understand what I mean? So you only have to put it out there and make sure they follow it, and make sure you have a good relation with the players. That's all. Have a good relation with the players. The time to play, the time to work.
Yeah.
That's all.
So you believe that a local coach can take us all the way to the World Cup final and win it?
Why not? If they do their things right. If they don't fall short in the middle, because sometimes they fall short. You understand what I mean? Sometimes they get dictated for, and that's not good. Most of the white coaches, you can't dictate for them. No, you can't. You understand what I mean? It's either he leave or you allow him to do his job.
Do you think this happened at Brazil 2014, for instance? That sometimes the coach wasn't acting on his own mind 100%?
Well, you could see that from the outside, but you understand what I mean? You could ask him 10 times and he would tell you nobody is behind or nobody is pushing him. You understand what I mean? But you study him from day one of him becoming the coach, and then you put things into consideration. You can connect the dots yourself. Understand what I mean? And you don't need him to tell you. You understand what I mean? So in this situation, I cannot, because he's been a coach at the time, could think, okay, playing against Portugal, he think this person can fit in the team and do it. You understand what I mean? It's try and error. Yeah. You understand what I mean? Sometimes it could just help, sometimes it could not. You understand what I mean? But you should be ready for the blow you get after that.
Talking about the national team and Brazil and all that, are there any regrets you have with regards to the national team? Are there any things you wished you could do differently?
Well, like I said, it's past, and then I think that really affected me. Yeah, it really affected me. But at some point, it's really helped me to experience certain things. If I hadn't gone into that situation, I would have been able to acquire. You understand what I mean? And you can't be better in good situations, only in good situations. You understand what I mean? You only be better in bad situations as well, to shape you. You understand what I mean? So to be a better person, you only have to go through situations, and you don't expect the good all the time. So, I think I wouldn't say I shouldn't have played that much. You understand what I mean? But I would say any player that's not being given a chance to play in a match shouldn't complain. You understand what I mean? Shouldn't complain. Shouldn't have a problem about why he didn't play me. And
so you don't. I mean, looking at everything that happened at Brazil 2014, do you look at it and say, maybe it was good that I got injured and didn't have to be involved.
Yeah, life is important. You understand what I mean? I wouldn't have known what would have happened if I'd gone to Brazil. You understand what I mean? I don't know anything. I wouldn't have known. And so
anything could have happened.
Yes, anything could have happened. Maybe I could have been the worst player, and nobody would ever want to even have me in his team. You understand what I mean? Or vice versa. But like, I'm just happy. I'm just happy to be me at this time, and I don't want to even think of whether it has really had a bad impact on my life or anything. I don't want to think like that. I want to focus on the future, what is here to happen.
Did you get compensated after you got injured financially?
From who?
From the Black Stars?
No.
Wow, it was just good wishes, goodwill, and goodbye.
Yes.
Interesting. We're about to get into a bit of his life outside of the Black Stars. He's hinted himself that perhaps injury has its own blessings. We'll find out what those blessings perhaps are, and what COVID-19 also has meant to a player like him who takes his fitness very seriously. All that coming up on the tracker. Stay with us. So I can see that you have your nice little pitch here at the back. I've been saying this COVID-19 period that this is perhaps the most important time it is to have, your own little area where you can continue to do your own, little activities there. Yeah.
Hey.
I'm not that bad,
Wow.
I mean, tell me a little bit about that. The whole process of COVID-19 that has come. A lot of athletes now have had to be doing inside workouts so that they don't fall out of shape when football resumes.
Yeah, it's true. Actually, this COVID has brought a lot of set us back a lot. We never saw it coming, and this is a pandemic, so that means there's nothing we could do about it. You understand what I mean? But it still doesn't have to stop us from training. That's why even you see most of the players working in their homes and everything. Actually, you could see this place, so we never feel bored, and we never stop training. And to be honest, when this place is very nice. Although we used to have some trees here, but I realized whenever we play, it used to distract us, so we had to take them off, and now it looks like much better in like a four-side football pitch.
I know. Now I hear that there are a lot of your other football colleagues who live around here. Do any of them actually come out here every now and then so you can play together?
No, but most of them are not around. Most of my colleagues are not around, but I still do work out with Coach Eric from Citi Sports, and then and he brings one or two few players with already have my brothers here, Kofi and James, and so we get like full training as in not just ourselves, but enjoy with other few people as well to make it more competitive. So we do work all over the body, and
You're still really fit and looking in shape. When was the last time you played? I remember your last stint was in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia. When was that? 2019.
That was 2019. Yeah, that was 2019. Had a few games there. Yeah.
When are you planning on getting back on the pitch?
On the pitch again? Well, after the COVID, definitely I should have been somewhere by now. But unfortunately, but as soon as it goes, definitely. After the season, because it's already late, so some teams are yet to finish their season, and then hopefully the new season, if God permit, I have a new place to go.
Tell me about some of your off-the-pitch habits. If we get off this green grass, what's your life like?
Wow. I like to stay quiet. You understand?
I know that for a fact.
I like to stay quiet to myself, and have time to think about the future, and then plans towards whatever I want to do after my football career, because like I know I may not be able to play all the time, so I think about the future a lot, and so
I hear you are into cars these days. tell me about that.
Yeah, well, I've been into cars for a long time, but not cars to drive them myself. Actually, I used to have a lot, but I've limited them because I realized I can't be having them.
It's a lot of money keeping all those ones.
Yes, you understand what I mean? So to have at least one or two, it's enough, you understand? So yeah, dealing with other cars are something that to bring in, income.
How's that going?
Not bad, not bad, not bad. I can't complain. Not bad.
You haven't shared too much of your off-pitch habits. Do you like to cook yourself? Because this
I cook. I cook.
times have come with people having to.
I cook, but now I have the people that cooks for me in the house. But when I'm in Europe myself, I cook myself. But whenever I come in a place where there are people that can cook for me, I feel lazy to do it myself. But I'm a good cook.
What's your favorite thing to cook?
Rice. Rice.
Jerry, we don't cook rice and stew.
Oh, but Charlie, my own is different, you know.
What do you mean your own is
Don't
different?
try my own.
What stew are you talking about?
You could cook rice, but the one I'll give you, bro, you
The
like,
one that removes one.
maybe you're a magician.
Interesting stuff there. Any other
But I could cook other foods as well.
Like what?
I could cook.
Like
I could cook bangkun fufu,
Anything?
soup. Yeah, because we learned from our mom. Our mom taught us. Because we used to eat together, and then you always have to be around when she's cooking. Give me this, bring me that, and then after the food, we eat together in one pot. So, you know, like we learned that. And at some point, you know, we used to cook for our dad too when they separated and that kind of thing. So, you know, it gave us, you know, the edge to be able to, you know, cook and everything. Yeah, you understand.
I'll typically do this, but I'd like to leave the honors of today's show to you to send us back home.
Oh, so you want me to be a TV presenter now?
Who knows? Who
All
knows?
right.
After football, you might just take up that career.
You never know, definitely.
Yeah, so go for it.
So everyone, my name is Jerry Akaminko. Thanks for having me on Tracker. Keep watching Citi TV. God bless you.